Malaysian 370, contact Ho Chi Minh 120.9. Good night.
Good night, Malaysian 370.
Breaking news tonight, a Malaysia Airlines flight with 239 people on board, including 4 Americans, has gone missing.
From the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita, Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds."
What up, everybody? Welcome to the live stream. I'm your host, Ashton Forbes, and I'm just realizing, I'm like, did I miss anything? No, of course not. Oh, boom. Look at that. Magic. The banners appeared. Guys, thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you, everybody who's in the live chat early on. So tonight, guys, what are we talking about? There is some pretty big news, honestly. So first of all, Anna Polina Luna finally told us what was the big news that she's been holding back for the last week. It was exactly what I predicted. Not to pat myself too much on the back, I think a lot of people kind of figured it out, is that it was most likely going to be something related to some type of declassification office that was getting set up. Because you can't just like release a bunch of files. You have to like go through them and determine what's appropriate to release and what's not. So apparently Anna Polina Luna is going to be that for multiple different topics, which, as we'll talk about, is pretty exciting for the MH370 case, because we could potentially get it added to that list of topics. And then just earlier today, Director of National Intelligence is officially Tulsi Gabbard. She has been confirmed. Bravo, everybody. And what does this all mean? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today on the live stream. So that's the plan for today. And then we're going to research something called the green room at the second half of the stream. The green room. A term that I've heard got used, and I wasn't planning on discussing it, but I tried to look it up and couldn't find out much about it. So going to have to get some help from you guys. Okay. Roundtable updates, guys. There is a new clips account that's going to post a lot of clips out there from like my live streams and from the podcast and stuff like that, that I have control of. And once the clips are posting, I will retweet that so you guys can follow that. So my main Twitter account isn't going to be as much of the clips and everything from the show. So keep a heads up for that coming out. Okay. Yeah. Well, anyway, whatever. I hope you guys like some of the new content as well. There's been a massive boost in followers on Instagram and on TikTok. So if you guys are not aware, I am on those platforms, and you can find like clips and shorts, or I don't know what the kids call them these days. The short content and then the longer content you can find. Okay. Also, you can find the podcast on Spotify and all the audio things as well if you want to listen to it there. Now, speaking of that, I am going to be talking to Nick Cook this weekend. Actually, well, I already spoke to him. But podcast with Nick Cook is going to drop this weekend. And if you missed the John D'Souza podcast, you can check that out on last Sunday as well. The Nick Cook podcast is going to be one, I think it's up there with the Jason Giorgiani. You guys aren't going to want to miss it in terms of like getting a good insight to what one of the most prominent UFOologists thinks. Nick Pope's one of the most prominent UFOologists ever. So, yeah, my TikTok's going wild as well. So, thank you to my new production team that's putting some of that together. I can't do all that. In fact, it's already killing me just to do all this. So, anyway, let's not whine about it, though. Let's just get into it. We're here to have fun. By the way, cheers, anybody. This is just coffee for me, but If you're drinking, cheers. Okay. Let's crack down. And then in terms of some other future content, so there are a lot of clips that you can find where I'm explaining 0 point energy if you want to know. But the plan for the long term is to make shorter, higher production quality content that is distillable so that when there are questions like this, that you can find it on my YouTube channel really easily for the science side of it. But right now I speak about it every so often, but tonight is a politics stream. One of the other things, though, I am planning, in addition to having one of my upcoming hard truths be about MH370, is to also potentially do a 30-minute overview of my opinion on what happened to MH370 as one of the first videos that I kind of produce out there that's better than some of the garbage I put out before. And I think that would be beneficial as well, just so people know where I'm coming from in terms of my opinion on what happened to MH370. Okay, great. So why is tonight a politics stream? People probably wonder, because we do talk a lot about science, and we've talked a lot about science recently, is that the UFO topic is a political issue. Okay, believe it or not, it is a political issue, and there are sides on it, political sides on it. The way that I would frame the political issue, although it's obviously nebulous and up to your own discretion on how you would frame it, is that I would say where the line is drawn is at something called national security. National security. So you'd say, well, what does that mean, Ashton? Well, that would mean anything that the government determines is an advantage or a threat to national security. And obviously that's also pretty nebulous. So there is the military threat, but there's also the threat that the government will be seen to lose face. That can also be considered a threat, something that were to be seen as a blemish to the United States government. So some people, either you are on the side where you respect national security, or you're on the side where you don't respect national security. And why is that important when it comes to the UFO topic from that political perspective? Well, because if we do have UFO or alien technology, spoiler, somebody on this planet does, then it becomes a political issue in terms of how that should be sanctioned. Who should have access to that level of technology, especially if it's something that's beyond nuclear weapons? Because now we're not just afraid of somebody just accidentally like shooting someone or something like that. We're actually afraid of like somebody destroying the whole planet now. So there's the people that would say, well, the side of national security is none of this can get disclosed. You can tell people about aliens, but you can't tell people about free energy. And you can tell people about psychic powers, because who gives a shit? Go use your psychic powers. Go impress somebody, right? Like, if you've got psychic powers, man, just go win the lottery or whatever your psychic power does. Just use it to your advantage. That's the best way to convince people. Just use it to your advantage. You're allowed to talk to people about that, but you're not allowed to talk to people about stuff that's related to energy production or weaponization of said alien technology. Because let me point this out, guys. Early on, when I first dug into like what would be our approach to any species that has this advanced technology, it's more advanced than we are, potentially far more advanced. No matter if they're hostile towards us, if they are, benevolent towards us, or maybe they just don't give a crap. Maybe they're neutral. No matter how you look at that, you should reverse engineer the technology. You should take their technology, if you interact with them, and figure out how to make it your technology. And it was Salvatore Pais in his letter and in several of the interviews that insinuated we have figured out alien technology, potentially to use against aliens or non-human intelligence, whatever it is. Maybe it's a AI overlord that's coming. Who knows? We were talking about AI hive minds. Maybe that's what's going on with non-human intelligence. Okay. So let's go to, well, okay. So you're on one side of the national security issue. Okay. And to be perfectly honest, people are going to want to know, what's your opinion on Tulsi Gabbard being put into the National Director of National Intelligence? My opinion is we should have very low expectations, but be optimistic. You know, look at it from this perspective, everybody. If you've seen the MH370 videos, and if you haven't for some reason, now you have, there it is. Imagine that you are Tulsi Gabbard and you were not previously exposed to this level of technology, and now you are. And they're saying, well, that's a national security issue. That's on the side of national security. You know, do you disclose that? Do you disclose what we did to MH370? Do you disclose that we've got plasma orbs that can defy gravity and that we're probably hiding free energy unless somebody can come up with another physics explanation for what's going on here? Because the only way this makes sense is we can basically amplify free energy. So, in terms of DNI, like some people are saying in the chat, I see your guys' messages in the chat, even though I don't always highlight them. Like some people are saying, our expectations should be pretty much rock bottom, but maybe we'll get lucky. Because as you guys, a lot of you have gone through the ontological shock of being exposed to this and being like, oh, wow, this is actually real. Like, you've seen enough evidence where you're like, oh, okay. Well, you know what? Tulsi Gabbard's going to see that times like 5. So, or maybe even more. I have no idea how much secret shit they're hiding. But the point being is that there's a lot of clandestine stuff that we've done. And this is where the national security line gets blurred. If we've done something that most people would say is evil, like teleport a civilian airliner, and somebody says that's a national security issue, where's the moral line? Where do you draw the moral line on doing a clandestine operation that potentially kills over 200 people, tragically? And this is a good point to just, you know, shout out to the families of the people that were lost. And it's just, man, unthinkable. So that's the point. And this is not the only incident. There's been many other incidents. Somebody brought up TWA Flight 800, for example, as well, which is another one that most likely America shot that plane down. But in that case, we had a huge debris field. Big different situation. But how do you draw the national security line on a situation where we messed up, where we did something bad? So that will be up for Tulsi Gabbard to determine. In fact, I should just have some like clips up here. Sorry, I'm not very organized today. Let's pull this up. Right now, it's just a picture of Ian. Where's the... Oh, okay, hold on. Where's the search? Okay, Tulsi Gabbard. They filmed the confirmation, right? We can like watch the confirmation or something. Maybe not. Okay. Well, in my mind, I was thinking we could watch the confirmation, but I just imagined that. It doesn't look like that was actually a thing. Anna Paulina Luna press conference. I think we can watch the press conference part here. Okay, here we go. Yeah, we got the press conference. Okay, so here is the Anna Paulina press conference for the new Disclosure Task Force. So I'll play after the clip why I'm so excited for Anna Paulina Luna. But the big news, as I mentioned before, was that Anna Paulina Luna started up a declassification task force centered on many topics. One of them is explicitly UFOs. They keep calling it UAPs, which is disgusting because they're UFOs. Let's just be honest. The other ones are like JFK files. I think there's something related to 9/11, COVID as well. And then potentially, you know, you can imagine a scenario where MH370 is on the list. And truthfully, this stream is going to be short tonight, sadly, because I do need to send the thing back to Arrow so that we can get that off our plate so that it's back in Arrow's court, because I don't want there to be any excuses about why they didn't add it to the reports that's going to specifically to her, the woman that's about to say this thing about this task force. So, guys, this is the part, honestly, full screen. Get in close. Get in close, everybody. Get in close tonight. Okay. Chat. Things are looking pretty positive for us right now. It may not seem that way because Edward C. Lynn is in hiding. Obviously, he's in hiding. And he would be the one that would blow this all up. But Anna Paulina Luna just got assigned a new task force for disclosing the evil shit that the government's been doing. And yeah, there's some good stuff on the list. Legitimately good stuff on the list. But man, MH370, if you look at that list, you're like, ooh, MH370 on this list, if you give them all this evidence, there has to be stuff hidden back there. Even if this was a clandestine black operation and they didn't keep a lot of records, like somebody will be able to corroborate looking at that footage. That's like legit footage. You know what I'm saying? So things do seem to be going our way. And Tulsi Gabbard, like a lot of you guys pointed out, getting close again. Tulsi Gabbard, even though like a lot of you guys pointed out, probably isn't going to blow the whistle. I'm sure she likes living on this earth right now. Still, much better than Avril Haines. If you guys don't remember, or if you didn't watch the Jason Giorgiani Hard Truths, actually got a lot of views for my small channel. He said that Avril Haines, straight up, was the one leading the UFO slow drip disclosure stuff. So she's out. Tulsi Gabbard's in. Not too shabby of an exchange, chat. Woke disclosure out, question mark, question mark, question mark in. Okay. Let's get back to this. I'm going to let you guys watch this. Okay, Anna Paulina Luna, what you got for us? Also, let's just chat. Let's be honest. She's an attractive woman. She's an attractive lady. And it doesn't hurt. I wish in many cases I was an attractive woman because then we'd probably already have 0-point energy disclosure. I would have, like, if I was an attractive woman, this is actually important. We might want to clip this. Really important. And very serious. If I was an attractive woman, I would, every single time I'm streaming, I would always have my, whatever shirt I'm wearing would show whatever part of my breast. Absolutely every single time so you can see the top of it. No question, no doubt. And I would have an OnlyFans on the side. And OnlyFans would just be to generate money to use to like fund experiments that can convincingly show people that we can extract 0-point energy. Let's think, what would my OnlyFans name be? Probably ZPE Queen. ZPE Queen basically would be something, it would be what it is. It's actually a tragedy that I was born a man and that I don't have that blessing. Plus, just look at it this way. If I was an attractive woman, there would be like 10 times the number of people watching. And it wouldn't even matter what I say. I could just say any random shit. I could just be like, what do they call it? ASMR or something? And then there would be all these people watching. And then I could just be like, and by the way, the Casimir effect also lets us extract 0-point energy from the quantum vacuum. And people would be donating like crazy. It would just be like subliminally going into people's minds. Chat, we have to do this on hard mode, no cheats. Actually crazy being a man. Makes it practically impossible to disclose anything out there. Women do not realize how easy they have it. If I just have to be honest. Not to get too political. It's true, though. Absolutely true. Okay. And now Anna Paulina Luna will tell us about disclosure. But it was smart for them to put Anna Paulina Luna in charge of this. attractive lady, well-spoken, got it all put together. I mean, you got my vote.
The biggest information problems that we've had with UAPs is the amount of stonewalling, stovepiping, and also it seems that there is this push to gaslight the American people into looking at the evidence and then not fully believing it. I think for us, if we're writing the budget, for example, into the Pentagon, if we're writing the budget overall for whatever programs might be out there, why is it that members of Congress who are given a top secret security clearance are being denied access? That's not a free and true government. And so for us, especially being that we have now a Secretary of State who's actually open to declassification and Marco Rubio, we're hoping to present that information and at least acknowledge it from a government perspective that we are not alone, but also let's see what the evidence is. The biggest information.
Okay, is that from the press conference? Let's just pretend like that's from the press conference, whether or not it is or not. So yeah, here's the thing. Anna Polina Luna, and if you don't hold on, why is my sound all messed up? If you didn't understand the context, Congress, including Anna Polina Luna, got rejected access to watch some UFO videos or something. It's actually not exactly clear, but they got denied access to something. Only Matt Gaetz, I think, saw, due to some access that he had with a certain committee. So obviously she's a little upset about that. And let's just be honest. Let's just get right to it. And then I'm going to do these donos here. Trump should just come out and say that aliens are real. The more I think about it, what are we even talking about? Okay, aliens are real. Can we move past this? Can we really not just move past this? Like, I think everybody's just got to get like one quick HJ, like a quickie. We got to get one quickie HJ out of the UFO community so that everyone can like refocus again and not be like blue balls all the time. Like, that's what's going on right now. I think like the UFO community needs one big win where they can all just release all this pent up alien energy. And honestly, we don't even need evidence is the best part. We don't even need evidence. With this case, like, all we need is Trump to just come out and be like, well, aliens are real. Every kind you want, we have the best aliens. I'm serious, actually. He should just straight up say it the same ironic way that I was saying it, where we're just going to have the best aliens out there. We've got all the aliens you can imagine, and eventually we'll get in touch with them. And leave it very vague like that, because all people really want is they want the validation. Exactly. They want the validation that the aliens are out there. They don't even care about seeing them. Why do I know that? Because there's no videos of seeing aliens. They still love it. So you don't even have to show them the alien. Just get it, because then what that'll do is, everyone will start fighting about it. First thing is, like, you guys will see the political schism, because half the people are going to say, oh, no, Trump's full of crap, blah, blah, blah. But it's like the aliens are real, but he's lying about it. And it'll be super awkward, because what are they going to say? He's lying about it? Good luck. And then on the other side, you'll see the people saying, like, yeah, okay, aliens are real. Let's move on with our lives. Because, again, it's not going to change anybody's life. But then we can begin to talk about, like, okay, if the aliens are real, how are they getting here? What are the energy sources for their craft? The questions that normal people would kind of ask. Like, hey, if we got aliens, where's this alien technology at, bro? Like, hey, Trump just was on there yesterday saying that aliens are real and stuff like this. So that means those UFOs were real. Like, where was that coming from? The more I think about it, the more I think that's all we really need. That's all we really need. And then a lot of the people in the UFO community, they'll get their release that they've been seeking. Some of them will be in denial about it, but those people's minds will get broken by it. And then people can move on to the next stage. Because otherwise it feels like we're just, like, I've made this joke, but we're actually just stuck in the 90s right now. We're stuck in a situation where, like, people are hung up on, like, trying to prove that aliens are real or whatever. Like, who cares? That's why Trump coming out and just saying it's the best move, because who cares at the end of the day? And the smart people will realize, like, who cares? And then they'll laugh at it. They'll just laugh at it. Man, the more I think about this, I hope Trump's PR guy is out there. This would just be a great. Just come out, make it real serious, but make it like 5 minutes long. Like 5 minutes. Just in and out. Aliens are real. We got the best aliens. I swear we're gonna have them. Say we're gonna get in touch with them eventually. Right? People will lose their minds. It's a good move. Okay. So the other thing, I want to put this in context for this Annapolina Luna task force. My guess is they're not. Oh, you know what? Let's come back to that. Well, I've been ignoring all you guys donos. I feel terrible. Okay. Toucan Life, thank you very much. Did the sale of Diego Garcia end up happening before the inauguration? It's hard to say. I was looking into that, actually, and it looks like it's still going to go through. But it also looked like it could fall apart at any moment. Like, it didn't look like the kind of thing that was, like, set in stone. So, thank you. Good question. And by the way, guys, save Diego Garcia. Guys, we're using Diego Garcia to teleport airplanes and test our orbs. Why are we giving that to anybody else? Screw it. If we're going to be imperialist, capitalist, expansionist, whatever society, then go all in on it. Lean into it. What are we talking about here? We got orbs and can teleport planes, and we're giving away military bases, or at least the land around military bases. You're out your mind, bro. You are out your mind. Save Diego Garcia. Fuck all the NPR tote bags and the organic broccoli. Fuck all those people. Save Diego Garcia. Protect our secret orb technology and our teleporting planes. Protect that shit. Like, why? How is this even a debate? How are the deep state people letting this go through? Seriously, sometimes I wonder, like, maybe I should just be in charge of the deep state so we can actually make it useful instead of just useless as shit. Like, the number one target for the deep state should be making sure Diego Garcia doesn't go through. They should be setting, like, threatening. This should be taken as complete fiction and LARP, by the way. They should be sending, like, threatening messages to, like, the Prime Minister of the UK, being like, you better back out of this, or, like, no more free 0-point energy technology for you. Like, I swear to God, I would be better at being the deep state leaders than whoever is right now. Okay. As Milk. We knew about the defectors as soon as they made their decision. Oh, I can already tell. Like, dude, when I hear the line, in my head, even when I'm reading it aloud, like, I hear it in that weird AI voice. That's just like how many times I've listened to the letter to Ash and Forbes. We knew about the defectors as soon as they made their decision. Is in the letter to, do you think they knew because they are using ZPE to look back in time travel? Yeah, man, the time travel aspect, I don't know. Sal Pais wants to write a scientific paper about that aspect of it. The problem is we just don't have enough evidence. Like, I need, just like with the MH370 videos, I need equivalent evidence. Like, I need to see the Terminator coming out of space-time from nowhere, right? With, like, yesterday's, like, tomorrow's newspaper or something, right? If I see that, then okay, great. But truthfully, I think time travel thing is going to work, like, weirder than people expect. And there's also this weird aspect where, like, you might get younger if you go back further in time as well. So it's cool because you could live forever, but it's bad because, like, how does that work with your memories? I don't know. So thank you for that donation. Oh, and Truth Teller. Yeah, thank you, Truth Teller. I feel really bad I didn't show you one video. So if you have something else you want me to show later, let me know. Truth Teller, thank you very much for that donation. If Elon can have big balls on Doge, Luna can have bigger balls on, yeah, like, the question, and we're going to get to this part in a second, but it just because you donated now, I think it's going to be really a matter of how much she gets roadblocked. Sure, you know, they're not just going to say, here's the keys, release whatever you want. You're in denial if you think that's what it's going to be, right? But so ultimately, there might be judgment decisions or subjective decisions involved. So come back to that. Arthur Jones, thank you very much for that $20 donation. Did you see the video talking about the 4 AI robots in a lab killing 29 scientists in Japan? There's probably no way that's real. There's probably no way that that's real. If that was real, I'm pretty sure people would be freaking out all over social media. And I'm pretty sure there'd be like a video of that as well. And plus, honestly, lithium-ion battery smoke, more dangerous than AI robots. True. True facts, chat. Fact check me. Fact check me on that, chat. Lithium-ion battery smoke, currently more dangerous, more deadly than AI robots. So far, I don't think AI robots have killed anybody, but lithium-ion battery smoke got a big body count. Thank you, Arthur Jones. Appreciate that, brother. Chris Mellon is a knob. I just love saying your donations. Thank you for that $2 donation. Disclosure going from woke to based and drip. Yeah, and I want to point out as well that Nick Pope is also very based as well. Like, I can't believe that we actually have to have a political line in the UFO community, but turns out we do. Turns out we do. Because everybody just wants to suck off the government, Mr. Government. And they say, okay, they want to get in their GIMP suits. Okay, Mr. Government, can we have a little bit more disclosure now? I've humiliated myself enough for you. Have I bowed down enough for you, Mr. Government? Can I have a tiny bit more disclosure? Yeah, here's a crappy video, U.S. Navy, that's already been on the internet, like the gimbal and go fast videos that don't really show anything. Greg, thank you very much for the donation. Came for the science, stay for the comedy. Your delivery leaves me rolling. Strong Charlie Murphy vibes. Well, Charlie Murphy is one of my favorites. Yes, I hope that there's many ScarJos and Fang Fangs in my future as well. Chris Mellon again. My bet is UFOs are time machines. Yeah, they technically are time machines. Anything that manipulates gravity, by definition, is a time machine. Crazy as that is to sound. So, but once you look at it from that perspective, you start to realize what a time machine really even is. Because the amount of gravity can change based on how much mass you're around. So if mass is impacting time and you're changing that, manipulating gravity, then you're manipulating time, creating a time machine. I don't know what this one means, but thank you very much for that $5 donation. I think I've seen this weird name here before, but I don't know what it means. So anyway, okay. Thank you guys. Now, back to the quest at hand, chat. And thank you, Hey Ocean. I appreciate it. Now, what is going on? So what I've said, I'm going to say it again. I think the repetition is the most important thing. What is my opinion on what's going on is that the slow drip disclosure is to prevent us and avoid us from talking about free energy, 0-point energy, warp drives, wormholes, anything that can be produced with essentially an unlimited amount of energy, or more scientifically speaking, because I want to be scientifically specific here for the people that might try to debunk or question any of this. What we're really talking about is the ability to amplify energy and the ability to reduce the energy requirement for something like bending space-time, which is what we're talking about with warp drives and wormholes. So amplification of energy and reduction of the energy requirements. And how can you pull that off? Equation 7, 8, and 9 of Salvatore Pais's fusion patent speak to energy amplification through an increased frequency or vibration. And with respect to reducing the energy requirement, you would manipulate the permittivity of space-time itself. Then you can change the speed of light. So changing the permittivity of space-time, realizing that space-time and the permittivity of space-time is not constant. Those are the ways. Okay. Now, so they have basically been slow dripping us to make us ignore that fact, ignore that reality about the universe, because this is a discovery, not an invention. And the egg on everybody's face, when this is all said and done, is going to be that we didn't recognize a property of the universe. I'm going to repeat that because it's important. The egg on everyone's face is going to be that we collectively as a society, academics, everybody, we didn't realize there's a whole property of the universe, this idea of 0-point energy. We just ignored it. like a bunch of primitive idiots. Worse, we acted egotistical about it, saying how it's not real and stuff like that, even though it absolutely is. That's going to be the egg on the face at the end of the day about this whole phenomenon. So that's essentially what we're facing in terms of trying to get the truth out. Now, couldn't aliens be real? This is the real PSYOP, psychological operation, for people who are not familiar with the acronym or whatever they call it. The PSYOP here is that aliens can actually 100% be real. No problem. This is why if Trump comes out and says aliens are real, you just took away the number one PSYOP being used to hide disclosure. Think about that. Because what their plan is they want to blame all the evil stuff that they've done. They want to brush that under the rug. Hold on, let me see if I can get my good. I'm going to do real life emojis for you. They want to brush all that evil stuff. They're going to brush that stuff under the rug, chat. They're brushing the evil shit under the rug. They're saying, that's just, don't worry about, that's aliens. Aliens did all that. Because the moment we got this alien technology, you know we did some evil shit with it. You know we did some evil shit. Guys, watch any movie out there ever where any human being gets access to unlimited power. Look at Lord of the Rings, for example. The power corrupts every single time. The power corrupts every single time. So, of course, we did some evil shit with it. So, maybe we got it from aliens. Great. Who cares, right? But whatever. Maybe we got it from ancient humans that broke off and lived another life. Whatever. Again, I don't care. Maybe we got it from the rock people that live underground in caves, or we got it from some ocean squid people that live in some bubbles under the water or whatever. Again, whatever. Who cares? End of the day, doesn't really matter. That's why, hopefully, once again, Trump should just come out and say aliens are real, because then that card's off the table. You can't blame aliens anymore. Because now it's like, okay, well, what is the status of us reverse engineering this technology, the alien technology? The next logical question is, where's the alien technology? How are we doing that? Reverse engineering it. And hey, by the way, like which country out of all the countries out there has the most alien technology? Well, if I had to guess, chat, wild guess, I'm going to go ahead and say the United States government probably has the most alien technology. It wouldn't surprise me if we were just stealing alien technology from like third world countries, or countries like Brazil, and we were like, hey, some alien technology is here. We're just going to take that. That's our technology now. Sorry, Ecuador. That was nice for you to have that, but now we're going to have that. Or if there's ancient history, ancient ruins and things like that, and we found it there, wouldn't surprise me at all if we stole that. Or look at Diego Garcia. What if there is like a buried craft in that mountain ridge where Diego Garcia is built on? Like, what if they found something underground there? And then they built a whole base around it. And they were like, yeah, we're going to steal this land from the Mauritius and kill all their pets and all the animals and displace like 3,000 people so that we can build a base here. Oh, that actually happened. That is the literal story of Diego Garcia. Like, quite literally. So, point being, chat, we want to be asking the smart questions, because here's the truth. Is the U.S. government ever going to admit that they have this pile of trash of stuff that they've done to hide this alien technology? And the reason why, just real quick, why am I calling it alien technology? Because it sounds fucking awesome, chat. It sounds awesome. Alien technology. I mean, that's what it is to most people. We're talking about, when you start talking about some orbs that can float around in the sky and just move around in triangle formations and shit like that, that's alien technology, man. That's alien technology. Let's just keep it simple. Even if we have it, even if we're building that, which is what I'm literally saying, like that's all, we've figured that out. That's still alien technology to me. You got any stuff that can move around like that? That's alien technology. which honestly, I know I'm going on a long rant here, but I've got to go on an even longer one. I'm doubling down. I'm playing my double down card, chat, and I swear we'll get to those super chats. But man, when I watched this video, I was thinking about this a lot. It's really got me bugging out on AI. Like, chat, that's probably the next like subclass that this investigation is going to move into, is like AI. Like, you know, people call me plasma expert. Like, I'm going to become an AI expert. Because when I'm looking at these orbs, this got to be AI. And it's not normal AI. Like, this has got to be AGI. I'm going to go full screen for you guys and just talk over it. Look at the way the orbs are moving. Like right here. This is the part I got to point out to you. And I like basically like dreamt about telling you guys about this. The orbs are already in a triangle formation. Look at this. The way the orbs are lined up right here in this shot right here. The orbs are already in a triangle formation, but there's only 2 orbs. How in the hell are they doing that? How are they doing that? You can make me understand. I can understand how 3 orbs can be locked in a triangle, but with the 3rd orb isn't even there yet. And then the 3rd orb shows up and it just like goes into the location where the 3rd orb needs to be. Like, look at how it slides in. That part right there is the part where I can't stop thinking about that part. A lot of people, if you haven't watched this video enough, like, you probably don't see all these small details, but once you realize these videos are real and you really start going to the small details, it's stuff like this right here that keeps you up at night. Because you're like, how is it doing that? The only way I can imagine this being possible in my mind, just imagining what it would take to pull this off, is that they've already got the 3 orbs are basically locked in virtually in some kind of computer like simulation, essentially, that is of what's actually happening in the real world. And they are like able to run this program of running around the plane in real time. And the way they're moving around this plane, no chance it's just coincidental. Like, it's clearly got purpose. And when people showed me that it's forming a sphere around the plane, that's when I went, okay, we're in full-on like contact territory here, chat. Full-on contact territory. So anyway, I just had to point that out because, like, this is the other big rub. This video might not just be free energy. And I kept thinking, like, what's bigger? This might be AGI as well. We might be just straight up staring at AGI. If you don't know what AGI means, it means Advanced General Intelligence. It's a fancy way of saying sentient AI. We might be looking at sentient AI here, where it's reached the point where, like, you can't distinguish anymore between a human. Because here's the thing, guys. Like, it may not look that impressive when you look at it at a video like this from this far away and what have you. Like, but the way these orbs are able to move in 3-dimensional space around an airplane like this is actually insane. Even just modeling this in 3-dimensional space would be very difficult. And the reason being is that the orb's movements is clearly has a purpose. It's not just some random movements. So trying to model this, like, is actually really difficult. It'd be one thing to say, hey, go make a 3D model of just some, orbs just spinning around the plane in a random direction. It's another one to make it where it's like, when you look at it, you're like, am I looking at like something that's alive? It looks like you're looking at something that's alive. That's a good way to explain it, right? It looks like you're looking at something that's alive. Yeah, that's a good way to explain it. The 3rd orb part, though, I got to look at it again because it just trips me out every time. And by the way, guys, the 2nd orb here actually comes up right there. You can see it coming up from the water. I'll pause it right there. So if you can't see the 2nd orb right now, you need to pay closer attention here to the next 3 frames. It comes up from the water underneath where the plane is at right now, and then shoots up right past this cloud. People wondered whether or not it went through the cloud, but I don't think it does. I'll go back like 2 seconds. So look like right under where the plane is, and you can faintly see the orb. 2nd orb comes like out of the water. But this part right here where the orbs are already moving in a triangle when there's only 2 of them, like right there, you look at the orbs moving in a triangle right there. That part bugs me out. And it'll keep me up at night. It'll keep me up at night. The rest of this is like, okay, well, anyway, so. But this is the part where, what are we talking about then? AI, free energy, and then whatever happens here at the end. If it's annihilation or wormhole, I'm not really, I don't have any bias in any of this, to be perfectly honest with you guys. I don't really care what the answer of what it is, but wormhole, if it's teleportation or annihilation. I mean, if we can annihilate a Boeing 777, I'm not sure which is more impressive. Teleportation is also really damn impressive, but both are basically just like physics breaking from the perspective of academia. Oh, yeah. I don't know if some people somehow don't know what that video was. That was the MH370, Malaysian Airlines Flight 370, disappearing out of space-time. And by the way, just mainstream media has ignored it for a year and a half, despite the fact that I've got like 500 million impressions in the same period of time. It's crazy, man. So, yeah, it's definitely real. The fact that people are so desperate to make people ignore it and not talk about it is real. So yes, when people say there are UFOs out there flying around. The only question is, how advanced are they? And what is the nature of them? Did we build them? Are they from somewhere else? What have you? That's the truth. So I hope that Annapolina Luna, when she investigates this, one of the big factors is we need to move on past the whistleblowers. The whistleblowers and what have you are great. Testimony is great. But we've got to the point now where we have a plethora of whistleblowers. We have a plethora of people saying that aliens are real. Great. Aliens are real. Now what? Now you have to be enlightened. Be enlightened. Change your religions. I don't know what people are really expecting, to be honest with you. What do these people expect? Aliens are real. Do we throw a party or... I don't really understand. So we've got a plethora of people that have been saying that stuff. Now we need the videos. We need the hard evidence. And before people say videos can be faked, the only reason why a lot of people, some people will never believe that MH370 videos are real, but the only reason why a lot of people won't believe they're real is because there's not like a chain of custody coming from the government. If the government were to release the videos, many of you all, release some videos that are like, they show gravity propulsion, just like the MH370 videos. A lot of blue-pilled people will believe it. A lot of red-pilled people are going to say, well, I don't believe the government is telling me the truth, what have you. But that's fine. That's just the reality of the situation. So, but that's how we're going to get there, is that you release more videos. And if you guys don't think they have more videos, you are out of your mind. They have hundreds of videos. I'm absolutely certain. Now, do they have ones that are as good as the MH370 videos, for example? Probably not. I think I have the second orb video somewhere. Oh, that's weird. I don't see it there. Oh, yeah, here it is. I think this is it. Oh, this is the high quality version. I don't know if you can see it in this one. Anyway. When we see some other videos that corroborate the stuff like we see with the trails and the orbs, for example, like with this clip here, because the government's going to have more stuff. This, all we need isn't one more video corroborating what we see with the propulsion here. And then we know beyond any shadow of a doubt that we're correct on our theory that 0-point energy is how this is all working. So that's what we need. And spoiler, this is something that I talk about with Nick Pope. Nick Pope. Well, I keep saying Nick Cook. Nick Pope on Sunday, guys. So Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern, guys. If you want to hear more about the dark side of UFO disclosure, come check out the Hard Truths podcast. Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern. It'll be on YouTube and all the other various platforms. Now, The other thing to do with this topic is obviously the risk and the danger, as we've talked about. Chat, I'm going to say something controversial. I know that's new for me, but here we go. I am absolutely 100% for the dissemination of the truth around MH370. But none of you peasants really deserve free energy. I'm just going to be honest. Chat, don't at me. Don't at me. Don't hate me. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. I'm just saying the truth. I'm just saying the truth. I'm happy to tell everybody that free energy is real and how it's real and everything, but I don't think humanity really deserves it, to be honest with you. I think it probably should just be kept hidden from people. So it's nice that people are aware of it, but I don't think I really want people to like actually do it, because I kind of like living on this planet, and I'm only 42 years old. So I feel like I probably have like 40 more years left in me. And I feel like I might be able to monopolize it and make like millions of dollars off 0 point energy potentially. So I feel like I'll just tell people all about it, but I don't really want to show people how to make it. So that's kind of why I just, in general, this is just me telling from the heart here. I kind of love my job. It's all the perks where it's like, yeah, you can kind of just tell people all the truth about it, but there's not really any pressure. A lot of people out there, it's interesting. A lot of people, when they would realize this is true, they're going to immediately want to go and build some stuff and what have you. It's funny. I don't actually have that compulsion to go build something. I don't really care about that much. Because at the end of the day, I'm like, yeah, we don't, like the truth is, I think the elite, the deep state people are right, chat. I might be switching teams, chat. This might be like the WWE, where all of a sudden, like, I rip off the shirt and now I'm on the NWO. Whoa, shit. Ashton switched teams. Shit. Now I'm on the side of the, what do they call themselves again? World globalists or whatever. Yeah. Because it's like, they really are just kings and peasants, right? Like, the peasants have no idea. WEF, that's what it is. Thank you. The WEF, right? And here's the other crazy part. I really do think we're going to have to be like space communists or whatever the hell we have to be in order to like keep this technology. I'm pretty sure we are definitely going to destroy ourselves. Like, I came to that conclusion a long time ago. And the more I'm like, man, I'm like, it's nice that people are learning real science, but holy crap. We can't actually have this technology. We can't actually have people baking this. We're going to have to become, the transhumans with the mind chips. But here's the thing, chat. You know what? Man, I'm going to become an Elon apologist right now. Oof, man. This is mostly tongue-in-cheek, so don't get too bent out of shape, chat. So let me trigger you guys even more. I'm triggering my audience. What is so bad about a brain chip? What is so bad? If it's shown to like not actually harm you, what is actually so bad about a brain chip? But seriously, chat, I keep thinking every day when I'm driving around in my car, if I had an AI that I could just mentally interact with and look stuff up on the fly, that seems a very advantageous thing. So what if it's hackable? What's it going to do? It's not making the decisions, though, right? The brain chip's not making the decisions. I'm making the decision. The brain chip's just giving me information. Just giving me information. Now, maybe the brain chips just starts psyoping me. It's not impossible. Please see Sooty's on board with it. Sooty, get a brain chip. I think you guys like actually though, chat, chill out first of all. Second of all, you guys are underestimating the benefits of the brain chip. Have you guys used AI much recently? I was using AI the other day to just ask science questions. Like, it's pretty powerful what it can pull back. I was starting to think about this. I'm trolling so hard right now. It is true, but it's so hard to keep a straight face. I'm trying. But seriously though, I was after the Obama thing, I was thinking about it because like the Obama thing, like it's actually pulling back specific dates and they were accurate. We looked it up. It's like those are the only times Obama ever really talked about MH370. So being able to like not have to interact with your phone and get AI updates instantaneously at the speed of thought, that's a pretty big advantage. Now, do I want to be the first person? No, I don't want to be the first person with the brain chip because, yeah, it might give you cancer or like, yeah, somebody might hack your mind or do some crazy shit like that. But let's be honest, Chad, that's what's going to happen. We're moving towards AI and there's going to be, people are going to be using AI. And if it gives you an advantage, if it does give you an advantage, like imagine that you can play chess and now you're instantly better than, what's the guy's name? Magnus? Wizard or some shit like that? Whatever his name is. Magnus sounds like a warlock's name to me, but imagine all of a sudden with a brain chip, you're just instantly better than Magnus because you constantly have a connection to an AI that can tell you like 5 different possible move options and just show it to you in your mind. Magnus Carlsen. Okay, cool. Whatever. So, but you guys get the point? If it gives somebody an advantage, people are going to do it. And if you're at a disadvantage, how are you going to compete with that? So yes, I was trolling the crap out of you guys. But at the same time, think about what I just told you there. And this goes back to what Avi Loeb said about how we can never go back. The answer is never to go back. And yes, I talk about excuse me, banning thinking machines. And I'm partially joking there as well. But at the same time, we can never go back. We're never going to go back to a time before AI. It's never going to happen. And we're never going to go back to a time before brain chips. Maybe they won't catch on, great, but that doesn't mean the technology is going to go backwards. We are moving to a point where we interface biologic beings with computers. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. How long we delay that, up to us. And again, why am I even bringing this up? Because again, this is a political decision. And this is why I'm trolling you guys, because I'm presenting to you guys a position that real people are going to take. It's a position that real people are going to take. Is what I'm presenting to you guys. And yes, it's going to seem ridiculous from your perspective, the way that red-pilled people, blue-pilled people seem ridiculous to red-pilled people. It's going to seem that way, but people are going to be all about it. And then the question is, well, if it gives you a benefit to be integrated with the AI, how do you deal with that? Just like the other example that people use, because now I can tell some of you guys are listening and actually paying attention. For my gamers out there, I know there's a lot of gamers out there. What if it gives you the ability to beat people at video games? Like, what if now at Call of Duty, because your reaction time is now even faster, now you can win all first-person shooters because your reaction time has now been cut in half because now you have a brain chip that can integrate even faster. Just giving it to you real, chat. I always give it to you 100% real. So I'm not giving you stuff that's going to make you happy. So the other side of it, the other dark aspect of it, well, I'm going to let you soak that in. Soak that in, chat. Let me hit some of these donos while you guys don't soak that in. Okay, Levi had a conversation that lays it out with ChatGPT. Look at this, chat. See how timely this message is? Totally agrees with all of it, and even calls it revolutionary if you want to see it. I've got like a lot of these. I appreciate your donation and the thought behind it. But if you feed it the information about the scientific papers and you ask the right questions to get around the mainstream roadblock on how language learning models work, you will get answers that are like, especially when you ask it questions like I've been talking about, amplifying energy, things like that. It generally just agrees with you. And the reason why that's so powerful is that the one thing the language learning model can do is it can look at like the math. It can determine if the math checks out or not. Simple stuff like that, which is the main hurdle, right? It's like, does the math check out in Salvatore Pais' papers? If it does, then okay, then energy amplification is real. Simple as that. I don't know. Whether or not you believe we can really pull it off is a different question, but the math works, it works. Okay. Arthur Jones sent to the Discord. I don't know what that means. I generally not watching the Discord when I'm streaming. I don't even know what the context of this message was, but thank you for the donation. Was it about the AI stuff or something? I don't know. Anyway. Oh, something new just happened? Wait, let me see here. Is this new? Oh, another jet crashed. Okay, well, we might look at that in a minute. Okay, Wanagushu, thank you very much. Oh, that's another currency I'm not familiar with, but thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate you. Welcome to the Four Orbs Club. Kevin Miller, thank you very much. You guys are popping off tonight. Thank you for that huge donation. Have you explored Michael Krastasios or whatever and his father's link to the 1979 conference, A Search for Experiments to Exploit Space Shuttle Environment, and his Princeton thesis on aerosol separation with supersonic tests? No, I have not actually, but I'll write his name down. And chat, if you can find anything about him, I'd be interested. I think that a lot of people, one of the things that is something that not a lot of people understand, unless you've been watching me, and then you definitely understand, is that a lot of people have figured out 0-point energy and anti-gravity, and that not necessarily both of them combined, but a lot of people independently figured the various parts out, because a lot of people are smart, free thinkers, and the first thing they realize is, why can't we control gravity? What is gravity? And if they figure out that it's not some fundamental force and that it's just a pressure force, then you think, well, okay, then any other pressure force can counteract gravity, and it can. And it can. That's why when I make stuff about, when I talk about anti-gravity, like with the beetles and the bugs, guys. So I actually got community noted on one of the posts, and so I just doubled down on it. When I said that the bugs are anti-gravity, of course they're anti-gravity, because anti-gravity doesn't mean anything. It just means defying gravity. So anything in flight technically could be considered anti-gravity, which is why the term anti-gravity is a stupid term. This is why we don't use the term anti-gravity. So when I'm out there saying that the beetles and the bugs are anti-gravity beetles, well, technically it's anti-gravity. Now, the big joke is that it's got tiny ass wings, and there's no way that it can use conventional flight using those tiny wings to hoist up that huge body the way that it does. So conventional explanations of flight don't really make much sense. Okay. Chris Mellon, I was reading a CIA doc in the 1950s in the Majestic Documents website, and they were talking about crafts traveling through space but utilizing ionizing plasma and the plant's magnetic lines. Now, in terms of the non-ionizing versus ionizing plasma, I believe that I've been told that has to do with whether or not it's emitting radiation or not. Ionizing would, non-ionizing would not, I think. The planet's magnetic field lines is an interesting idea. Maybe. You might be able to surf on them. That's something that I've always thought about. So thank you very much for that donation. There's a lot of stuff in the CIA archives. Hard to determine what's real and what's not in it. A couple more. Ben, thank you very much. Hey, Ashton, in the letter it says the scientists survived, but everyone else died a confusing death. What do you make of that? So this is important in terms of the letter, guys. And it's also important in terms of any story that you read. First of all, look at it. First of all, not everything in the letter, in any story has to be true. It's not a situation where it has to be all or nothing. Okay. In anything you read. When any witness testimony you hear as well, the second thing is that it's going to come from the perspective of the person's real life lived experience with the person who's writing it. So somebody could speculate based on their opinion on what happened in some cases. So in the case of the letter, when people say that these people all died, but they also say that everybody died except for the defectors or whatever, or when they say defectors versus deflectors, you know, You got to keep in mind it's a real person probably reading a letter that's been translated from another language. So you got to understand the context there. And everything they say may not be exactly correct, but they may be privy to some details where they are exactly correct. And us as the reader, how do we determine? Can't really. So we kind of have to take it as a story and see how it lines up with the facts and the evidence. And that's what's so compelling about the letter to Ashton Forbes, is that it has a lot of details that do line up with the evidence. And it presented a case. The biggest reason why it was compelling, one more time, thank you, Ben, for this donation. The biggest reason why that letter is compelling is this. Before that letter dropped, I was 80% sure that the videos were some kind of rescue operation, and 20% that it was some kind of weird espionage operation between countries. After that letter, I was like 95% sure it was actually an espionage operation. So think about it from my perspective as the person who is like the person most knowledgeable about the case and the videos and everything. For a video to come out on the internet and flip me that significantly from one to the other, just based on knowing all of the information that I knew about the case, and then how whoever wrote that letter, they must know a ton as well. So that's why I think that story is pretty compelling, but not necessarily 100% accurate, but probably pretty accurate in terms of the overall story that it presents. Inquisitor Godflower, thank you very much for the donation. Tomorrow I'm in DC for work. What should I write on a big poster and hold up in front of the White House for the meme? I really don't know on that one. I would say be creative and be yourself. Be creative and be yourself. And a message that comes from the heart. That's what you should hold up on a sign. Any sign that you have out there. Something that you would not be embarrassed to have represented tied to you. Okay. Wow, that was a lot of super chats. Okay, so chill out on super chats now, guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, though, because I do want to finish up my last thought on the alien technology and the dark side of it. Okay. And once again, Sunday's podcast with Nick Pope is going to be all about the dark side of UFO disclosure, from the black projects and operations that we do to what it would mean if certain different alien scenarios were to be real, and what the dark side of those scenarios would be. So definitely check out that interview if you want to have a deep dive between some pretty smart UFOologist people on those theories and what have you. Now, the big thing that could be dark about this, the one thing that I will kind of spoil and talk about here right now, is one dark aspect of this technology that we really have to reconcile and come to terms with is, how do we manage this technology to ensure that nobody destroys all of us? That any one of us does not destroy all of us. That's what we have to figure out. And it may be that we have to restructure our entire society around that premise. So just to rehash and lay that out, we might, due to this hyper advanced alien technology that we have access to, that we've reverse engineered, made our own, we might have to reorganize our entire society around managing that technology. How messed up is that to think about? That's just how significant the idea of free energy, transmutation, warp drives, wormholes, all these things are. Because you have this free energy technology, but also people might just warp drive away, and they're going to warp drive back, and they're going to come back, and civilization is gone. It's like 1,000 years later. Yeah, it's literal Star Trek shit. But the problem is we have to obey the laws of physics, and time dilation is going to be a bitch, chat. Chat, before everybody starts getting excited, I see some of you guys getting excited. A little bit more AMSR. Before you guys get excited, realize that if you guys start warping away with the space juice, we start handing out space juice to everybody. Here's a little space juice for you. little space juice for you, and all you guys start warping away to different planets and shit like that, realize there's a very real chance that you warp back. And you're like, hey, I'm going to warp back for dinner. And you warp back and your family doesn't exist anymore. Like it's been like 100 years. You guys like understand that? Please understand that concept before anybody goes warping away. I want people to understand that time dilation is not a joke. I don't want anybody to come back and like civilization doesn't exist anymore. So there is that huge aspect of it. And then the huge aspect of like, how do we not destroy ourselves? And then the last huge aspect of it, how does a capitalist society work when there's no, like, I don't even know how it works. How did capitalism even work in Star Trek with the dilithium bars or whatever they were called? Maybe we should just figure out what Star Trek did and just like copy them. I don't really understand how capitalism works when there's like no scarcity. When you have free energy and you have replicators, like how does government function? How do markets function? I need someone to like, I'm looking in the chat and I'm not seeing anybody know. There's got to be some kind of Star Trek nerd out there. Is this one of those things where like, if I were to ask, maybe we just ask like YouTube, like, how does the Star Trek economy work? Oh, look at that. It's filling in the answer. So it's saying here, it just says replicators. The Federation has near limitless energy supply. So yeah, so how does like money work? Huh. Wait, oh, this is video maybe? Generative AI video? Oh, what is this weird shit chat? Okay. Anyway, we don't need to go on that side quest tonight. The point being here, we have a lot to take into account when it comes to the UFO disclosure topic. And that's what the people like Annapolina Luna and Tulsi Gabbard are going to have to weigh. Now, are we going to be critical of them? Absolutely. We'll be critical of them and we'll push them, but we have to look at it from their perspective as well. This is not an easy decision in terms of what is on the national security line and versus what is should be publicly available. We're making it easier because we're just literally doing, disclosing it and telling people right now. Now, I want to go ahead and show this clip. Wait, let me see. There we go.
With Commander Fravor the other day, and he shared some information that came to him that was just, email style. But George, it was passage material. And I don't know if people on our podcast know what that means, but sometimes in SAPs or special access programs, they have what they call passage material. It's material that is leaked to people. But the thing is that this material is being passed around to people like even Commander Fravor, where they're trying to kind of convince him that Lockheed Martin, as an example, had some sort of similar technology to what he saw. First of all, he laughed. He's like, if people...
I can't believe this video exists. The CIA emailed Commander Fravor of the Tic Tac incident, the Nimitz incident. Very famous. He's been on Joe Rogan. CIA tried to convince him that it was Lockheed Martin technology. But the part that doesn't bug me isn't that part. The part that bugs me is that Jeremy Corbell in this clip is absolutely confident that it was passage material. Passage material. I'm not even sure what passage material really means. He has to define it for us. He's basically saying that it was like disinformation. Why would the CIA try to convince Commander Fravor it's Lockheed Martin technology? I don't understand the rationale there. Is the idea that like the alien threat is so severe that we would rather blame it on Lockheed Martin than blame it on the aliens? Does anybody else, like, can anybody else rationalize this for me? Because otherwise, I think I'm just kind of poking holes in the logic and the thought process here. And this is the part where I'd love to have a rational conversation with Jeremy Corbell. So if he's out there, I'm not going to pick on you or make fun of you or anything like that. I just want to have a real conversation, man. Because, like, I hear this and I worry. I worry because even if this is passage material, shouldn't we, like, give it, like, everything that we're being told is a story. So here's another story, but you're immediately just dismissing it because it doesn't align with your preconceived notions. Because you believe the Tic Tac has to be aliens. So you're saying that it must be passage material. Now, of course, anything from the CIA is suspect. Could be bullshit. Absolutely. But, like, maybe we should just, like, ask for more evidence instead of just brushing it off as a lie.
People knew my job right now, they would know that I know that is not true. So it was just, he said it to me as like an alert. Have you seen this before? And I said, I have. Do you understand what's happening, Commander? And he goes, I do. So basically, it's a really interesting story, and it has a lot of real information in it. But there is a core fake information in there. They call it passage material. It was eventually, I can backtrace it, reverse engineer it, where it comes from an agency. And I'm just going to say it, man. Why does the CIA have a completely different methodology of shaping the emerging UAP narrative?
So, I mean, it's pretty clear. He's saying the CIA is shaping the emerging narrative, right? And he's saying he can backtrace it. What does he mean that he can backtrace it? Oh, I'm going to pee my pants. He can backtrace it, chat? Like, so honestly, I'm starting to wonder if it's like, is it coming from, all this stuff coming from Ron Pandolfi? Was it coming from Ron Pandolfi? Because if so, then maybe you can backtrace it. Honestly, I don't know. But maybe it's also legit. I feel like it didn't deserve to be dismissed in the way that it was here. And the way that Commander Fravor supposedly, according to Jeremy Corbell, I'm not sure how much I trust his account of things. He says that Commander Fravor claims he would know. No, Commander Fravor would not know if it's Lockheed Martin technology. I want to make sure that everybody on the planet is clear about that. I actually love Commander Fravor. I think he's a great guy, but this idea that because he's a commander in the Navy or whatever, like he would be in on the UFO stuff, that's not at all how it works. In fact, being in the military puts you like at the bottom of the list for being included on these programs. Like you've got your much better chance being in the corporate world. Now, I do want to point out something about this video. I'm going to go full screen here. Chat. What is going on with? Is this a Zoom call between two people that are in the same hotel room? Why did they just record in the same room? Look at the drapes, chat, in the background. So somebody pointed this out, and I went and looked, and I couldn't get it out of my mind. This is the weirdest interview ever. They're literally doing just a Zoom call on their weaponized podcast, and they're just clearly in the same building. Clearly. I mean, the chances of the drapes being exactly the same is, of course, zero. Of course, zero. It absolutely makes you wonder how janky this weaponized podcast thing is. Like, and I probably shouldn't just be crapping on these guys because I'm trying to make amends here, but I can't help but point it out. It's pretty weird. And a lot of people were pointing it out. Like, I just don't get, are you just sharing the same bed? Chat. Let's not be homophobic. Sleep with whoever you want, chat. We're open to all peoples of all kinds and beliefs, and whoever you want to sleep with in this community is A-okay by us. So you want to get it on, gentlemen. Anyway, I realize this isn't even the clip that I wanted to show you. That's the funniest part. But I did want to point that out to show you that in terms of also, like, how are we going to reveal this technology? They pretty much have no chance. like the Anapolina Luna and even Tulsi Gabbard, because a lot of this stuff is being hidden by the defense contractors, which there's no way that a government official is going to have any access to. Government officials don't have any access to the private information. That's the big problem. They don't have any access to it. So here's the other clip. Did I get blocked? No, I don't think so. Okay, here we go. So I got you guys into and excited for this Jeremy Corbell clip. Actually, I have 2 more Jeremy Corbell clips. Hold on. I have one more that I want to play too. Here it is. This one's an old one, chat.
China.
It's actually rare to find clips of Jeremy Corbell talking about the technology. For all the UFO stuff this guy's done, extremely rare to find clips of him talking about the technology. This one's from a couple years ago, I want to say.
Or Russia technology. We've talked about that a lot before. You say, if that's the case,
by the way, this is like
problems, obviously,
some Fox local channel.
You tend to lean toward this stuff is beyond human capability right now.
Well, I tend to lean towards that it is not China and Russia. You know, there's a lot of unknowns here. This is definitely a foreign technology. Just where is it coming from? Who's operating it? Who's had this, all the way back before the 50s, right? So why isn't it Russia or China? First of all, that would be very scary for the United States. If they had this technology, whoever has this technology first, game over, they win, total global domination. These things, it's weaponry, John. It can become weaponry. That's why it's classified higher than weapons of mass destruction, because these propulsion systems themselves can be considered a form of weaponry, the technology itself.
That's the Jeremy Corbell I would like to talk to. That one right there. The one that's talking about the fact that the reason why it's classified higher than nuclear weapons is because it's weaponry. Because 0-point energy technology, alien technology in the space juice, it's an energy source, and energy sources can be turned into weapons. So it was important to show you Jeremy Corbell's perspective. Jeremy understands that we're talking about weapons here and what the national security issue is. He just explained it to you guys right there, very clearly, right there. Now let's listen to this. This is a new clip. That one was an old one, and this one is a new one.
Initially, they classified all of this using like the atomic energy kind of model, is because UAP themselves, UFOs, they are inherently weapons of mass destruction. So that idea of being a potential delivery system for weapon of mass destruction, sure, that is that the actual propulsion system itself, that the way that allegedly these things work, gravitationally propelled, the distortion of space-time, that by the very nature of the design of their ability to do that is a weapon of mass destruction potentially. So
the craft itself
can be weaponized, like, because of the propulsion system. So I understand the original classification, because you're looking at the atomic weaponry you have and you're like, oh shit, this other stuff is way more powerful, way more dangerous, so that is.
Let's pause it right there, chat. So right again, he's talking about, he doesn't say Atomic Secrecy Act, which is kind of where it's like, has he not done his homework? He's like, it's like atomic. Yeah, it's 0-point energy. It's similar to atomic weaponry. It's possibly more dangerous than that. Of course, it's going to be classified. And he talks about, the atomic secrecy related to it, and it's a weapon of mass destruction. The other thing that I want to point out is that this is so similar to what Matthew Livelsberger, the Cybertruck bomber, was saying. Remember what Matt Livelsberger said. He said the gravity-propelled drones have an unlimited payload capability. That means they can put whatever weapon they want on them as unlimited destructive capability. And what is Jeremy Corbell saying right there? He's saying that this UFO technology is a weapon of mass destruction. and even mentions, I think, the payload, that the UFOs themselves are a weapon. This is exactly like what Matt Livelsberger was saying. And that Matt Livelsberger guy was saying that he had unacknowledged special access program access. Rest in peace, because he might have been a legit whistleblower.
Is the rub. The rub is that this was compartmentalized into this black hole because of the maybe valid fears initially of these craft having such weapons potential. Yeah.
That part is pretty horrifying.
Yeah, that part is really horrifying. It's like, why did it go into the black? Why did they cover it all up? Because of the weapons potential. I mean, now these guys are just straight up plagiarizing, right? Like, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills because I've been saying this for a year and a half. And Jeremy Corbell is terrified to say my name or to reply to any of my posts or to comment or anything. And now he's saying the same shit that, like, I dug around and the guy's been on hundreds of shows and what have you. And I can only find like one clip of him ever discussing the weaponization of this technology. And now he's just all in on it. It does, and I'm not saying they're trying to like steal the narrative or whatever, but it does feel like we are at least driving the narrative if all of a sudden this is what's coming out, because here's the reason why. My opinion of Jeremy is that he's an opportunist. So when he sees the content that, you know, you guys and I are pushing out there with respect to 0 point energy, he sees that it is pulling eyeballs. People are gravitating towards it and gravitating towards that messaging. So in response, you know, get in there, which is fine. I don't have anything against that. Once again, I think everybody should dig into it. I just think it's interesting to see the switch. I just think seeing the switch is interesting. But I'm happy that people are now digging more into what are the real implications of this alien technology. It's not just aliens are real. It's like, shit, chat. We're going up 1,000 years in the tech tree overnight. My gamers understand that reference, but that's a big jump. It's a big jump. Okay, let's finish this out.
Very much so. Because oh man, there's so much there. I don't even know where to start with where my mind is right now.
Yeah. Wait, we're fine. We haven't done it yet. We haven't messed ourselves up that bad yet. Right?
But then the dark part of me,
right,
is like, we hear about these gifting fields and craft being left basically with the keys in the ignition, or like a craft landed,
right,
opened up, come on in. So my dark mind is like, are these being left here? If they are WMDs, are they being left all over the world for like a final, you know, bye everybody kind of deal? I mean, who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
Are they being left all over the world for us to find out for WMD purposes? Probably not. If that was the case, wouldn't they just wipe us all out? Couldn't they just wipe us out anytime they wanted? This is the part where I kind of laugh when people are like, if a civilization's 1,000 years more advanced than we are, then we're nothing to them. Then we're ants to them. So we're not going to fight back. They're just going to wipe us out anytime they want. So if they were leaving us technology, I find it extremely unlikely it's for us to destroy ourselves. Probably more so for us to catch up. The only reason why I would leave somebody technology is I would leave them the technology so that they could try to catch up to where we're at. And I would deem them that they were ready potentially for it, or potentially to test them as well. Maybe test them to see what they do with the technology. But the most likely scenario for me, if we do have this alien technology, and I think that we do, is that we accidentally got it. They crashed. We dug them up. You know, the universe is really, really old potentially. So, you know, of course we could dig something up on the planet that we found from long ago. If there are beings that have figured out some physics that we haven't figured out, it's extremely possible that whatever craft they use, there's some remnants of it on our planet. Maybe we made them crash, maybe not. Who knows? Again, a lot of these smaller details are not really relevant. It's nice to know, but in some cases we're never going to know. In other cases we can't know. Same was true with the MH370 case, guys. I'm open to any story that fits the evidence and the facts. And there's a lot of like brushy little edges of the story that, you know, it's hard to really reconcile, just the way that it is. That's true of a lot of stories that you guys are going to find. Now let's do a few more super chats. What do we got here? Thank you, Doku. I'm just going to say, call your name Doku. Bruce Cathy's work. A lot of people give me a lot of different people to check out. Let me say, Bruce Cathy. Thank you for that donation. Appreciate you. Arthur Jones again. Oh, AI killing the robots. Oh, that's what that was about. Oh, yeah, that's definitely fake. That's definitely fake. Yeah, no, it's definitely fake. If it's just somebody telling a story, I remember that. Yeah, somebody sent me that a few days ago. Now that I'm seeing that again, that whole thing about the AI killing the robots, it's not real. I mean, maybe it is. I don't know, but if it's just somebody telling a story, it doesn't matter, guys. If you're gonna come with something really sensationalist like that, you've got to have a video of it. You got to have a video of it. To just come out and say that you're a whistleblower and you saw this thing again, that's the same as egg disclosure, chat. You might as well be telling me that someone had psychic powers. Okay. As Milk, I'm going to build my ZPE craft in an AI anime cat girl waifu to travel the universe with. Big thanks to the Philosopher Kings keeping us safe from ourselves. Thank you, As Milk. That was a weird message. And just in case people are not sure, the only reason why I'm talking about teleportation isn't because I just magically believe that teleportation is real. No, we're seeing it in 2 military videos in perfect sync from different angles of a real plane. And a lot of people are, don't try to make that situation happen. We hit the lottery with the MH370 videos. You can't ask for a better situation. Just like literally perfect scenario, which also goes to show that it was definitely leaked with intention. Or if you're a skeptic, then it was definitely faked with some hoaxing in mind. There's just, the story is too in depth of what the videos represent. Lil Lun, thank you for the super sticker. One day I'll find out what a super sticker is. Appreciate it. It'd be cool if the super sticker like had an emoji or something pop up on the screen here. Maybe it's StreamYard that's making it not do that. Oh, and then Mark Scott, huge coming in huge. My boy Mark Scott, a lot of fake actors. Yeah, and I don't think Jeremy Corbell is a CIA operative at all. I don't. I've seen enough of the sensationalist stuff to know there's no way. At least not malicious one, for sure. No chance, chat. Okay, guys, I think we're going to actually end it early. Oh, no. One more thing I wanted to talk about tonight. Last thing for tonight, guys. Okay. Green room. I can already feel Professor Simon making a video about this. And you know what? We're going to let him scoop me on this because I want to see if anybody else can find anything about this. There is supposedly a terminology, or no, I said it wrong. Behind the green door. That's what it's called. I think that's what it's called. Hold on. We're going to ask Grok. Let's see what Grok says. What does it mean to look behind the green door? Okay, Grok. Do not let us down. I'm live streaming this, Grok. I don't want to be let down. Please, please, please. Basically, Grok, I want to inspirationally talk Grok up here. Grok, if you get this wrong, people are never going to believe that AI could teleport a plane. I don't know why my sound keeps changing. Weird. Okay, the phrase "look behind the green door." Wait, Grok. How can anyone believe that AI can take over the world if you can't even figure out the green door thing? Wow. No, this is awkward. What is the relationship between the green door and secret projects? Okay, yeah, here we go. I can't believe it's actually not even mentioned here. Oh, here it is. No. Okay, well, supposedly, maybe somebody can find something out there because Grok just completely, I didn't prompt it correctly. So the idea is that if people have seen a look behind the green door, that means you've been exposed to advanced projects and technology. Actually, I can just look at my history, right? Isn't there a history? I asked this earlier and it didn't give me this garbage. Oh, here it is. No, that's not right. Oh, okay, here we go. I found it. Jeez, I don't know why. You have to ask it correctly, chat. The U.S. Air Force's Green Door program refers to a colloquial term used within the Air Force for assignments or projects that are highly classified, often involving special access programs. Now you can tell why I'm excited about this, right? Special access programs. The Green Door is slang for programs or offices that deal with information classified above top secret. These are typically associated with special access programs. Related to Air Force. Enlisted personnel or officers do not typically apply for these positions. Instead, individuals may be selected based on their skills, clearances, and the needs of the program. Sometimes a person might receive an email. How much do you want to bet? How much do you want to bet Edward C. Lynn was selected for the VPU-2 Wizards? I don't know it to be facts, but I am going to say it as a fact. Edward C. Lynn was almost certainly selected to be part of the VPU-2 Wizards. That's called getting access to behind the green door. Serving in the green door assignment can have a specific or significant career benefits, such as exposure to cutting-edge technology or missions. I'm going to read this again. Pay attention. Serving in a green door assignment can have significant career benefits, such as exposure to cutting-edge technology or missions, networking with key personnel, and potentially advancing one's security clearance. However, it might mean also less visibility in terms of traditional career progression markers like performance reports, as the specifics of the work are not openly discussable. There's a culture of secrecy and camaraderie among those who work in these programs, often described as tight-knit communities where everyone understands the importance and sensitivity of their work. That was the thing that kind of triggered me the most. That there's a tight-knit community, and I can absolutely see that being the case. Why? Because that's how Sean Ryan basically described the special forces working. It's a tight-knit community, and once you're behind that door, you don't talk about it. If you talk about any of that stuff, like you can, like, you give people the special like password or the handshake or whatever it is, but those people don't betray the trust that they've been given for that secret technology, for example, as one of those options. Edward C. Lynn was almost certainly somebody that was behind the green door. He got exposed to it probably through his congressional liaison job, where he was looking at black projects. And then with the VPU-2 Wizards, again, that's probably what their whole thing is anyway, black projects and stuff like that. So if you can find anything more about the green door, YouTube videos about it, anything like that, I would love it. Looked around, there's not much talk about it, and that actually makes me more suspicious of it, because if you want something to be secret, you make sure Fight Club's not talked about on the internet, right? So anyway, guys, that's our live stream for tonight. I hope you liked the political discussion related to free energy, 0 point energy disclosure, or just big D disclosure in general, disclosure of aliens. We need Trump to say that aliens are real so we can move past it, get it in our rear view. We need DNI, Tulsi Gabbard, and or Anna Luna on the Declassification Task Force to take the MH370 case seriously, and or other cases about the UFO phenomenon, so that we can get disclosure of the technology of cold fusion, free energy, warp drives, wormholes, whatever else it can do. Bring people back to life? Who knows? At least reverse our aging? Not sure. And then we also reviewed the idea of the green room. green room. And we talked about the implications of all this technology, the end of the world, the collapse of the capitalist society. What does our society even look like when we have a world where we have no scarcity? What does that look like? So these are the conversations that I want to be having more of, and I will hopefully have more of in the Hard Truths podcast and on the live stream with you guys. So thank you very much, MH370X. Have a great night. Love you all. Peace out, guys. I'll put a link to the Discord in the chat here as the stream ends. Peace all.
This is a
infrared eyes, scanning the black, tracking the heat, never turning back. Control 22, a covert gaze. Control 33, in the cosmic maze. Controls in the mix, secrets untold. Silent watchers, brave and bold. In the shadows, they silently glide, protecting our interest, far and wide. As fears, sentinel of the night, watching over with infrared sight, alerting us to threats afar, guiding our defenses like a guiding star. In the silence of space, they keep their post, shields unseen yet feared the most. With precision and speed, they warn of danger, keeping us safe from the missile's anger. As beers, sentinel of the night, watching over with infrared sight, alerting us to threats afar, guiding our defenses like a guiding star. Controls in the mix, secrets untold, silent watchers, brave and bold. In the shadows, they silently glide, protecting our interest, far and wide. As fears, sentinel of the night, watching over with infrared sight, alerting us to threats afar, guiding our defenses like a guiding star. As fears, sentinel of the night, watching over with infrared sight, alert